let's think about things a little bit differently, okay? So, I've had several conversations with a few people, and people who are in business or just people who work for family, and this one person in particular, I was talking to, and they were telling me that what, I'm all set. My family has a 401k, a retirement plan for us, and there's no way that even my dad's going to change his mind, because he knows that this is the right thing to do. So I know I'm set. So I'm like, oh, okay, you're set, so that's great. But let's go ahead and think a little bit differently. Let me ask you a few questions, right? Okay, so first of all, let's think about how much money do you have in that 401k right now? Okay, how much do you have? And he's like, well, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm like, okay, so if you don't know how much you have, then how do you know how much you're going to need whenever you're ready to retire? And I mean, you're already in your 40s, so you kind of need to know what that is. And he's like, well, I don't know. When I get my statement, I just look at the balance. I was like, oh, so you're telling me that you get your statement and you just look at the balance, and then you just kind of go from there and think, oh, okay, if it's more than what it was the last statement, then I'm doing pretty good. And he's like, yeah, that's about right. I was like, okay, cool. So tell me, when was the last time someone sat down with you to go over, what it is that, your 401k has? What are some of the advantages? What are some of the disadvantages? And, how much are you going to have, and how much can you pull out, and how much are you going to pay in taxes, and all of those things? And he was like, oh, nobody's ever done that with me. And I'm like, oh, so you're going to tell me that nobody has sat down and gone through what you already have to see what it is that you're already doing. So it's pretty much you're blindsided. You have no idea what you're going to have. You don't even know if you're going to be able to retire. And he's like, oh, well, I thought I was okay. I thought, I was doing the right thing. That's what, my dad told me to do. That's what, everybody does. And I said, well, how about let's think a little bit differently, and let's just make sure. How would it feel if you could just kind of, sit down and look at it and have somebody explain it to you, and go from there and see if there's anything you can do better. Maybe you are doing everything that's right, but right now you have no idea. So that's the thing, is people get so stuck in their head, and they think that, if my dad and my parents say that this is the right thing to do, if everybody else is doing it, then it must be the right thing to do. But what do you really know about what you're already doing? When was the last time you really sat down and evaluated what it is? How do you feel? Are you really that confident? Do you know? Or are you just putting it to the side and ignoring it? It's all about, really taking responsibility and knowing that there's experts who will help you, experts who will sit down and talk to you and teach you and show you. And if there's something that you could be doing better, wouldn't you want to know that there's something better for you and your future? I mean, that comes down to, thinking about your family too. Like, why would you not take the time to do that? So think about it. Maybe have a little bit of a different look and a different mindset whenever you go into, planning for your future. There's no point of having all of this health and longevity and taking care of yourself if you have no idea if you're going to even be able to stop working one day. And if you love what you do, that's awesome. But why would you want to have to do what you're doing just to make sure? And we don't even know if our bodies are going to be able to do what we're still doing. So think about it. And think about, how much are you willing to wait? Are you going to wait until something happens and then you figure it out the hard way? Or are you going to take responsibility and start doing something now to see what it is that you're already doing and if you can make it better?